It's like road rage, but for people too poor to afford cars. Yes, according to the Wall Street Journal, which is owned by our parent company, Awesome Dudes Incorporated, sidewalk rage can be just as awful as road rage and possibly awfuler. Yeah, that word. It is, Kimberly. Researchers at Colorado State University warn that those quick to anger over a slow stroller may suffer from intermittent explosive disorder. Sounds like diarrhea to me. And at the University of Hawaii Psychology, Professor Leon James has developed a, quote, pedestrian aggressiveness syndrome scale, which gauges a walker's rage. The so-called signs that you're impaired, well, there's muttering or bumping into others, uncaringly hogging a walking lane, giving a, quote, mean face to those approaching you too quickly, and, of course, exposing yourself on the bus. However, some experts say this behavior is an evolutionary adaptation, one that helps the development of cooperation. Whatever, this is why I spend all my time on my catamaran. Do we have tape of my new boat? I said catamaran, not cat on my ram. People.
We've got to get a new intern.
I know we do. Yes. Rick, golden rule of journalism, add rage to anything and you get a story. Road rage, roid rage, Rick rage.
Yes. And by the way, I love this story because I have sidewalk rage.
Oh, you do?
I've experienced it. I used to live right down the street here in Times Square.
Yeah, I remember.
I could not stand the crowded sidewalks. I would get so annoyed with people blocking my path. I'm walking Spanx. They won't get out of the way. They're coming outside the theater. They're hogging the sidewalk.
And the
I would
homeless
start
people.
throwing shoulders and just barreling through. Excuse me, pardon me, and get out of the way.
Did it work? I bet you people got out of here.
I had to move.
To be clear to the audience, Spanx is the name of this dog. He wasn't walking around trying to look a little slimmer in his suit.
I thought everyone knew Spanx was my dog.
Kimberly, isn't this totally made up, or it's like a made up thing that is real in the sense that we are all angry all the time? And
it feels good.
Yeah, and what we do is we assign rage to it even though we're mad. We're just mad about all things.
I avoid Times Square completely because I seriously flip out when I go over there. I can't take it. Everyone's in a big hurry to go nowhere. They're not late for anything. They're just like, wandering around, bumping into each other.
But we do love tourists, don't we?
We love them. I just want to
get out of the way.
Tourists are the backbone of society and often my guests in my basement after they've woken up from whatever drug I've slipped into their, thank God it's Friday's mimosa, which they usually order around 5:30.
That's interesting
Chris,
and criminal.
It is. Chris, do you buy any of this malarkey? And I use malarkey strongly.
Well, I just updated my Twitter page, and I was telling all the slow people that the world is not getting slower, and they have to check things.
And this is New York City.
And us getting mad helps them do that.
Yes. Well, that's the evolutionary thing. It's like we are getting people to move quickly, which is good. Bill, you sleep on the sidewalk, so much of the rage is directed at you.
Only if I roll over into their way. I'm usually by my vent. That's where it's warmsies. I'm every single one of these things. Particularly, I talk to myself before people start slowing down.
Yeah.
Like I'll just mutter to myself about something I got to do during the day. And the older I get, the worse I get. But I want to get back to this Rick rage you were talking about. How is that not the best porn name for Labenthal that there ever was? Rick Rage.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Starring in Anchorman.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Actually, my porn name is Link Manchester.
Oh,
look it up.
All right.
That sounded real.
I got to tell you.
I'm scared.
Here's one of those stories where it's like all the other rage stories in which it's the troubled versus the troubler. If you're the person troubled, it's like I call elevator exit rage. Yeah. When you walk out of the elevator and somebody walks in, you're pissed off. But if you're the person walking in, you're like, I don't care. So it's always, it's whoever is, like the guy in the BlackBerry that walks into you, you think he's a jerk. But you're also that jerk 10 minutes later.
I have a solution.
It's really
Create
true.
an express lane on the sidewalk.
Oh, they do that in England. It's called New Yorkers. Don't they have didn't they spray paint that thing on the ground?
Let me tell you.
Yeah, they did. It was a cute little thing.
The homeless guy throwing feces at you, you're like dunking it. You're mad he's throwing feces at you. He's mad that he keeps missing.
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing.
That's like the New York version
Can't
of that
relate
show.
to that. Sorry.
Winter.
Weirdo.
Huh?
Really?
Winter's Bone?
I don't know.
That's a different kind of homeless man.
I was thinking of the game show where the people are trying to run through stuff.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
You know, it's great
water.
Wipeout. New York version of Wipeout is the same exact thing as regular Wipeout, except the homeless are flinging feces at you.
Yeah.
That's just the joke I was working
call it
toward.
Trying to make it to work in the morning.
I know, darling. Yeah, you don't travel in a limo. All right, so do you have a comment on the show? You teach
Remember that time we took the subway?
I know.
That one time.
That one time. She's bringing it up. Because we went once. We took the subway once, everybody.
Like a Matterhorn for her.
I know.
I took a picture.
Email us. It's redeye@foxnews.com. And to leave a voicemail, my direct line, call 212-462-5050. Still to come, the halftime report from TV's Andy Levy. He never leaves his apartment.
Tonight's halftime report is sponsored by potholes, those disruptions in the surface of a roadway where a portion of the road material has broken away, leaving a hole. Thanks, potholes.
Welcome back. Let's find out if we've got anything wrong so far. For that, we go to TV's Andy Levy. So, Andy, it's been less than a week since the new Radiohead album dropped, and already we're seeing its effect in Egypt and Libya. One can only imagine what it's doing on other planets.
Forget about other planets, Greg. The amazing thing is the time ripples this has set off. Scientists have been looking at various things that have happened throughout human history. On February 18th, the date The King of Limbs came out, they've already confirmed that the release of the album somehow caused events such as Zealand falling to Dutch rebels in 1574, Austrian Emperor Joseph II banning children under 8 from labor in 1787, General Sherman's troops burning the city of Charleston, South Carolina in 1865, and the discovery of Pluto in 1930. Now, in fact, some scientists are now saying they believe the release of The King of Limbs may actually have triggered the Big Bang that created our universe. They don't have any proof as of yet, but they're running simulations with the Large Hadron Collider, and as the director of CERN puts it, quote, it feels like it has to be true.
You know, I have to disagree, Andy. If Radiohead could have triggered the Big Bang, then we wouldn't have things like suffering, war, and, of course, Chris Martin.
Well, interestingly, Greg, scientists now believe all those things were caused by the formation of the Black Eyed Peas.
Not surprised, Andy. All suffering has been traced back to the Black Eyed Peas. They are the nexus icon of all things dismal and destructive.
That's true, and historians now believe Nostradamus predicted this in his quatrain that reads, by river Danube and Rhine shall come to drink the great camel, which shall not repent. Trembling is river Rhone, and most violent for those near river Loire, and near Alps the cock shall ruin them.
I hope your face melts.
I think it just may have. Yeah.
Our ears just
We should really use the teleprompter next time.
I know, that's true.
Man,
You're right.
that was a lot to memorize.
And we wrote it just 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Take that, Obama.
Sting finally weighs in on Libya. Greg, you said Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, like Sting, has strong opinions and is a decent vocalist.
Yes.
He doesn't have much range, though.
Well, you know what? The emotion
Right.
that he conveys. Did you see Iran's Got Talent last year?
Yeah, it just reminded me of like a slightly slower Linkin Park.
Yeah, but you know, he did a fantastic version of Air Supply's I'm All Out of Love.
Oh, see, I did not see that.
It brought everybody to their knees,
Really?
mainly because they were being flogged,
Right, yeah.
because they're all gay. And they flog gay people there.
Yeah, they have no gay people there.
No, that's right.
Yeah. I guess it's great that Sting spoke out against Libya, but does anyone remember last April when it came out that he had performed a concert for the daughter of the Uzbeki dictator? Does anyone remember this?
I remember it.
We did this story.
Yes, we did.
Tickets cost between $1,000 and $2,000, which was like 45 times the average yearly wage of someone in Uzbekistan.
Yes.
He claimed the concert was sponsored by UNICEF, and UNICEF said, no, it wasn't.
Is that bad?
Yeah. That is
very
bad,
bad.
Rick. That is very bad, Rick.
And afterwards, he did yoga nude.
That's true. We showed that too.
Yes, remember?
Yes. Yes.
With his poor
That's when we fell in love with him all over again.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, Kimberly, you said the U.S. is doing nothing about Libya. What should we be doing?
Well, I think we should actually make them afraid that we're going to act and then do something. Why aren't we going over there to intervene? This is certainly a compelling situation where there are multiple humanitarian violations. People are being murdered, and they're not taking us seriously. And we're the ones that lead the world in terms of acting first and sending a strong message that it will not be tolerated.
How exactly would we act, though?
You don't want to know what I really think about that.
Okay. All right. Fair
I
enough.
like your style, Kimberly.
I'd start with assassination.
Wow. I'm changing your name from Kimberly to Kilberly.
Yeah, it would fit. I accept that.
You
name.
know what?
Thank you.
She's just done an assassination attempt on my heart, Greg.
Yes.
Yes, it's in her.
You seem to be
shut up,
doing well,
Andy.
though.
Greg, you said Gaddafi's not afraid of the UN, that he's part of the UN. Remember, Libya is actually on the Human Rights Council.
I know, it's fantastic, isn't it?
They've set a meeting for Friday. They're convening a special meeting to discuss the situation in Libya. So that should be interesting.
Here's the bottom line. If Americans are harmed, we're going to go in and destroy them. So I don't see why we are waiting to make a decision about this. They know.
Well, we're waiting for Tom York to weigh in.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Texas legislature considers bill allowing teachers and students to carry weapons. Kimberly, you talked about this possibly being helpful in a situation like the Virginia Tech shootings, but then said you do support restrictions on guns on campuses.
Well, specifically, I think you should have, I'll tell you, training. Okay. Anyone who has a weapon and is going to carry them on college campuses should have gun safety training, should go to the range and actually be somewhat, you know, able to use it in a lawful manner and with some level of skill. They should also pass all the background questions, psychiatric, etc. Just don't hand it out to anybody. And when you have those safeguards in place, then I think it's reasonable measures, and you should be able to own a gun and carry it on with you on campus.
Okay.
See, I don't know, training schmaining when you got a couple drinks in you. Now, when I was very little, I was trained to go to the bathroom in the toy. But when I got to college and I started drinking a lot, Greg, it didn't matter. All that training went out the window. And into my pants, America.
I can personally attest to that he is not lying.
As long as they train him how to shoot sideways like this, like they do in the movies.
Yeah.
That's the kill shot.
That's considered competency and weapons.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey,
that could be something else.
Chris, what was it you said about if you would have had a gun in college, something about the chemistry class?
Something about Illinois draining a 3 on the Indiana Hoosiers with 0.1 seconds remaining. It was traumatic.
Right.
I'm not proud of it, but at that moment,
all right.
Mr. Anderson.
Example of
it's
not
people like
getting
you
a gun.
who ruin it for the rest of us, basically.
I understand that. Trust me.
All right. Greg Log, men are worse for the planet. Chris, why does your wife hate Mother Earth?
Probably because she has 3 kids.
Excellent reason.
Full-time job.
Excellent reason. As far as I can tell, this study says men eat more and generally weigh more, so they emit more carbon.
Pretty much.
Okay.
But they also fly in planes, where women aren't allowed on planes.
That's true.
Yeah.
Thank God for that.
Yeah.
Just flight attendants?
Yes.
Well, they're allowed to work.
No, we've lost the female flight attendant.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I won't even get
That's
into
Bill
that.
Schultz dressed up now, flying
Yes.
across the friendly skies.
For flittering.
Sidewalk rage. Rick, I'm with you. I have sidewalk rage too, and it's fully justified in New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, this show is nationwide, so
I know, but we're talking about New York City. My favorite is the groups of like 3 to 5 people, depending on their weight, who walk side by side and take up the entire width of the sidewalk.
I think that, yeah, I agree, and that's the thing. It's not that New York has anything against tourists. We love you. Just stay to one side.
Right.
And get out of our way. That's all.
And walk a little faster.
And don't talk.
And don't stop short.
Stopping short. You don't know how many bottles of nitrate I've spilt.
Tell me about it.
When I'm stalking those 2 Scandinavian tourists, and all of a sudden they stop short to look up at the M&M store.
Well, that's the problem. Once you take the twist cap off the wine, Greg.
Yes.
It's a problem.
Yes, it is.
Sometimes the spilled nitrate is on purpose when you're pouring one out for your respective homies.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's in rare cases. You're going to lose a loved one.
Right. Tupac.
Too soon, Andy. Too soon.
It's never too soon to pour one out for Tupac.
All right.
Also, Bill, lastly, thanks for explaining that Spanx is Rick's dog. I was worried that viewers might think it's his lady/gentleman friend.
Yeah, well, I just thought it was his friend that made his thighs seem trimmer.
Nah.
Why would I take my lady's last gentleman friend for a walk? That doesn't make any sense.
Dude, I don't.
He just reversed
Rick,
on
I don't judge. Everyone has their fetishes. If yours is walking your lady/gentleman friend,
But clearly it's not.
It's fine with me, man.
Spanx is my dog.
Dude, it's fine. This is
Okay.
America,
On the
man.
weekend.
Everybody knows Spanx.
You can walk your lady/gentleman friend. This is America, Rick. Don't let anyone stop you.
By the way, Rick, I own a collar. I'm just throwing that out.
Yeah, I do love the fact that your companion Spanx will let you play the dog owner and walk him in public.
Well, you pay for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Extra.
Yeah. I'm done, Greg.
Thank you, Andy. Coming up, is Ryan Seacrest dyeing his hair to appear younger? I wouldn't know. I'm not his naked butler. But first, should Christine O'Donnell join Dancing with the Stars? America responds with a resounding who gives a crap.